Okay, fourth grade, this is lesson 11 for module 6. We're going to be talking about comparing and ordering mixed numbers in various forms and plotting them on the number line. So as you look at this one, I've got some mixtures of some things in decimals and some things in fractional form, but I know that I can go back and forth between the same format. For example, I know that 5/10 is the same as 5/10 written this way. And if I compare that to 6/10, well, that's going to be smaller than 6/10. So I've got 5/10 and 6/10 there. Now, if I look up here, I know that 5/10 is going to go right there. So I'm going to write 5/10 right there. And I've got 6/10 right there. That's kind of a no-brainer right there. And this is 7/10 and 6/100. So here's 7/10 right here. And I'm going to go over 6/100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's where that one's going to go right there. 0.76. The next one is 79/100. Now I know that 76/100 and 79/100 are pretty close. In fact, if it was written as a decimal, it would look like this: 7/10 and 9/100. So 7/10 and 9/100. I'm going to go over here. This is 79/100 because it's 7/10 and then I'm moving over to 9/100. So it's going to go right over there. The next one I have right here is 53/100 or 5/10 and 3/100. Well, here's 5/10, and if I go up 3/100, it's going to be right there. I'm just going to plot it on that number line. Stick it right in there. And then I have 66/100. Well, I know that 66/100 as a decimal is going to be 6/10 and 7/100. So I have 6/10 and 7/100. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 goes right there. 67/100. And now I've plotted them all on the number line, and I can tell that if I needed to write them from least to greatest, I could just write them in that order, or I could write them from greatest to least. So another way that you could look at that, you're going to be looking at on each one of these ones. I want you to be careful though, because they're going to try to trick you on some of this. For example, 8 ones and 1500s. Well, 8 ones, and then I've got a decimal, and I've got tenths, and I've got hundreds. Well, 1500s is the same as 1/10 and 500s. And 833/100 would be the same as having 8 and 32/100, which is the same as saying 8.32. So you're going to want to make sure that you convert them into all the same format so that you can compare them. I know that 8 and 1/10 and 5/100. Well, I've got 8 and 1/10 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/100 right there. So I can label this one 8 and 1500 right there. And 8 and 3200 would go right there. 832 hundredths. So just pay attention for ones like this, 82/10. Remember, 82/10, the numerator is more than the denominator by far. 82/10 really I can convert into 8, a whole number 8, and 2/10. Well, 8 and 2/10 is also going to look like that, and I would be able to put that one right there, 82/10 right there. So you're just going to plot them one at a time on a number line so you can see which order that they go in. Don't get tricked, but make sure that you convert them into the correct amount. Then looking on the back, they're going to ask you to do the same thing, only they want you to use the symbols. So if I were to do these ones in the same symbols, I could use those same ones that I have from the front side. In fact, I'm going to show you how to do this one, but I'm going to use these numbers that we've already figured out. If I were going to put these ones from greatest to least, now that I've got them on the number line, I can just write them. I've got 79/100 is greater than 76/100, which is greater than 67/100, which is greater than 6/10, which is greater than 53/100, which is greater than 5/10. They're asking you to put it in that order from the greatest to the least. And you can figure that out by putting them in order and then writing the descending order down. You're going to do that using the symbols is greater than on A, B, and C. Then you're going to get down here to 3 and to 4, and those give you questions with words. So in a paper airplane contest, Matt's airplane flew 9.14 meters. Jenna's airplane flew 9 4/10 meters. Ben's airplane flew 904 meters, and Leah's airplane flew 9.1 meters. And the question is, whose airplane flew the furthest? Well, I know that I'm going to have to convert those all into decimals. So I know 9.1. So I've got nines on all of them. So I've got 9.1. So here's 9.1, and this will be 0.2, and this will be 0.3, and this will be 0.4. Well, 9.14, if I had 9 spots in there, would be 9.1 with 4 100ths. 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. So this would be 9.14. And then 9 4/10. Well, 9 4/10 would be right here. There's 4/10 right there. So this is 9 4/10, or 9 4/10 written like that. 900 and 400ths, well, that would be the same. 900 and 400ths is the same as 9 and 4 100ths. And when I write that in decimal point, it would be the same as saying 9 and 0/10 and 400. So it would be 9.04. Well, that would be actually over here on this side. It would be over on this side because it's smaller than 9.1. And then 9.1 would be right there. So I'm looking at this and I can see that the answer for the one that flew the furthest is 9.4. So the question says, whose airplane flew the furthest? Well, Jenna's airplane flew 9 4/10. Here's 9 4/10. So the answer is Jenna's airplane flew the furthest. All right. Meet us in office hours if you have any questions, and off you go making comparisons on a number line.